I was reflecting on this change a bit last night, and the analogy that came to me was the analogy of Batman. I grew up as a child with the TV series of Batman, which was very cartoonesque. And you know, the Batman then was just a very good civilian person, trusted the authorities, almost father-like and that kind of stuff. And then in the movies that happened about Batman over the decades that followed, with Michael Keaton in the 80s, Christian Bale in the 90s, you probably have seen some of that. That persona of Batman started changing. Became much more human, became much more sort of fraught with moral anxiety and questioning and vulnerability. And I think that's a really nice analogy for how our views on what makes a good leader have developed as well over time. It's no longer, the definition of leadership is no longer, I will do it once more, when the going gets tough. Yes, so that's what I grew up with as an image of leadership. Not anymore. If you are a leader, and we talk about leaders in a very broad definition, whether it's in a commercial workplace, or it's the local football club, or it's your family, or it's a non-for-profit organization like EMCC, the demands on leaders are completely different from what they used to be when I was a child. The expectations are completely different. And we want to explore that with a very, very interesting panel. But we want to focus particularly on the question, so if leadership has become so much more complex now, as many of us think it is, what's the kind of support that leaders should be able to benefit from? And what role can we as practitioners in mentoring, coaching, supervision, and adjacent fields play in that? That is the core of what we will be looking at. We have three wonderful panelists, and I'm going to ask them to come on the stage and answer two questions in only 2 minutes each. One is, what is it that you want everybody to know about yourself? And the other is, if you grew up with a superhero as well, which one was it? So with that, can I ask Ken to come on the stage first? Ken Giglio.
Wow, hi. It's great to be here. So Ken Giglio, there we go. I am a leader of a global coaching and leadership development company. And mindful leadership is really about how we strengthen our relationships with ourselves, with others, and the systems we work in, from a place of attention and presence. And that's what I'm all about. There we go. From a place of attention and presence. Now I can do this. Let's start singing. So, my favorite superhero growing up was Superman. I was fascinated by the fact that he could be just this normal person in a normal relationship and then go into a phone booth and become a superhero. Now, of course, later on, I was not able to understand the metaphor of all of this and what it meant maybe to leadership, but the ability to transform, but still be humble and be in service of others really stuck with me, right? So that would be my superhero.
Thank you, Ken. And the next very distinguished panelist is Ivana Vasiljevic. I probably mispronounced your name a bit.
Hello, everybody. It is really a pleasure to be here. Thank you for invitation. I would say that I represent a voice from practice. I come from pharmaceutical industry. I'm a country head from company Savel. From neighborhood, from Serbia, Belgrade, companies present in the whole region. And me personally would like to present my own story and the story how we work on developing leaders inside the company. And regarding my favorite, or actually the important superhero that influenced on me. It was a little bit later on, not when I was really a small child, but later it was Gandalf. Because he's so wise, he's always there when you need him, and he asks the right questions.
Thank you, Ivana. And last but certainly not least, we have Rochelle Chang.
Thank you for clapping so that I can have a second to come up here. All right, so Rochelle Zhang, I'm wearing the same suit so that you can recognize me. I am the global head of executive mentoring at LHH, and I run a practice of 120 fabulous mentors who have lived experience in the C-suite, and most of them are currently on boards. And my role is to grow the practice, so, and all that it means. So, when it comes to the superhero, I told them earlier, I have a chemistry background, and then most of my life I was in organizational strategy, and recently took a pivot into this space. I don't want to answer the superhero question with one person, because I think that there's a lot of superheroes that combine to shape what I thought was the real superhero. So from my perspective, it's, and you're going to hear this a lot from me, but it was the ecosystem of all of those superheroes together that, that really shaped who I was as a kid.